Most men find it difficult to talk to women. It doesn't have to be that way though. With the right tools, you can easily overcome your fear of talking to women and never run out of things to say. First of all, you need to understand where the root of the problem is. Most men run out of things to say because they are stuck inside their head and never fully engage with a woman. They just go through the motions and hope that something clever will come up, but it never does. If you've had this problem before, you need to stay in the present and in the moment with a woman. If you're stuck inside your head, dwelling on what you should say next or planning out an argument with her in your mind, she immediately knows it and will lose interest. If you want to know how to talk to women without worrying about running out of things to say, you have to learn how to be in the moment and stay grounded. If you're not used to staying grounded when talking with a woman, it's going to be difficult at first, because your mind will be racing trying to come up with something clever or interesting to say next. However, the more you practice staying grounded with people around you, it'll become natural and easy. Let's look at 7 tips on how to talk with women and never run out of things to say. The first thing you need to do is stop being so nervous. Simply speak from the heart, be honest, and have fun with it. She will feel the energy in your voice and probably start talking back. It's not rocket science. Just dive in head first and let the conversation flow naturally. This way, there isn't any pressure or awkwardness because you're just letting things happen naturally. You can never run out of things to say if you're not thinking about it. If you're having fun and enjoying yourself, that's all that matters. If she asks a question, answer her. It doesn't matter what the topic is, as long as you focus on what she says and respond accordingly. By paying attention to her tone of voice, facial expression, and body language, you'll understand what she's trying to communicate. If it's a light-hearted conversation, respond with something light-hearted. If it's an intense conversation, respond with something intense. The second tip is that you need to learn how to flirt. You might not even realize it, but oftentimes people are flirting without knowing it. You can flirt with a woman by showing subtle interest in her, or giving off the impression that she's interesting. It's very easy for a woman to sense when someone has romantic intentions towards her. This is why flirting can be so powerful and such a useful tool in your conversations with women. This can help build sexual tension between you and her, which is probably the most important element in any conversation. If she's talking about something that interests you, go ahead and show her that her words are getting to you. If you're having fun talking with her, show it through your facial expressions and body language. If she's being vague about something, draw her out of her comfort zone by asking what exactly it is that interests her so much, so she can't stop thinking about it. This will allow both of you to fully immerse yourselves in the conversation because you're both deeply engaged in it. The third tip is that if all else fails, compliment her. Women love compliments, but don't overdo it because then she'll think you're just trying too hard to please her. Don't compliment her directly though. Instead, try to make it seem like you're just stating a fact when in reality, you want to compliment her. Don't compliment her about things that would be too much of a stretch to compliment her on. Don't tell her that she's beautiful or amazing because she may think you're lying. If you tell someone that they are beautiful or amazing right off the bat, they may think you're just trying to please them. Instead, tell her things like she's a smart woman or an interesting person. Anything along those lines will do because most women find themselves incredibly interesting. Be careful with your compliments though. If you compliment her too much, she might think there's something wrong with you. The fourth tip is to have in mind the type of woman you want to talk with. For example, if you're talking to a young woman, don't be discussing politics because she won't know what the hell you're talking about. Young people are conditioned by society to think that older people are boring, so it's your job to prove them wrong. This means that you need to engage her with topics of interest to people of all ages, so she can see that you're an interesting person worth knowing. One good topic is anything about society or the culture around us, because it's always changing and young people will want to know what's new. They want to know what's going on in the world, so this is their chance to find out. If you're talking with an older woman instead, discuss art or other topics that appeal to older people, because she'll appreciate your knowledge of these topics. Despite the age difference between you two, keep in mind that you're both human beings with shared interests, and that's what matters most. The fifth tip is to get rid of your inhibitions. Most of us are wired to be judgmental of others, so you have to break this wiring if you want to get ahead with women. People are constantly judging you, so don't wait for her or anyone else to show interest in you before you show interest in them. This is how most people play the game, but you're going to play it differently. You have to go up and talk to women who interest you, even if they don't show any interest in you at first. You can't wait for her or anyone else to show interest in you before showing interest in them, because every single person is judging you all the time. It's just the way we're conditioned to think. Don't be afraid of rejection, because it's going to happen a lot when you start talking to women. In fact, every time you talk with someone new, you risk being rejected. If you want to get ahead in life though, this is something that you must overcome, or it will become a crippling fear that will hold you back. The sixth tip is to develop your inner self-confidence. Being confident is the best way to show her that you're an interesting person worth knowing. You don't need to rely on compliments or flattery, because your confidence alone will help build sexual tension between you two. Happiness isn't about money, power, fame, or other things outside of yourself, so wait until you find happiness within yourself before expecting to find it in a woman. Nobody wants to date somebody who's emotionally desperate to find their perfect match, so work on your own happiness first before trying to make her happy. When you feel good about yourself, that's when she'll want to date someone like you, because there are plenty of guys out there with less confidence than you, who aren't nearly as interesting or charismatic. The seventh tip is to be genuine and honest, because everybody likes the real deal. Everybody wants a person they can trust, and nobody wants to date a person who's pretending to be someone else for their own benefit. This is why it's important to build your inner self-confidence first, because you'll seem more trustworthy and genuine if you feel good about yourself. Don't be a phony though by saying what she wants to hear just for a chance with her, because that will come off as obvious and fake right from the start. If anything, she'll think less of you for trying to trick her like that. Avoid negative thoughts, because they show up in your body language. Negative thoughts will drain the life out of you, while positive thoughts will bring more energy into your life. Getting her to like you starts with liking yourself first, so feel good about yourself and don't worry about what other people think of you, because that's the only way to live your life.